Hey doctors, I have an embarrassing question for you. When I go to the bathroom, it dribbles. And it's gotten so bad that I don't go to the urinal. I go to the stall so I can put toilet paper down there. I'm really not cool having a wet spot. Is there any help with this? Is there anything at all I can do?
We're giving you solutions to some of your most embarrassing body problems today, and Brad joins us. You're not alone, my friend.
Yes.
Oh, man.
I think a lot of guys have that.
The
problem.
post-urination dribble. That's what we're talking about, right?
Right.
Especially if you're in a hurry.
Oh, yeah.
You don't give it enough shakes.
Well, that's
Well, no, Jim.
mean,
No matter
sometimes-
how long you shake and dance, a little bit always ends up on your pants.
you know
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I mean, clearly that's a time when you can't rush it. You've got to just
Just take the time.
take a deep
let
breath
the
and
things
shake
rain.
and.
So, Brad, some of that, your urethra, which runs from your bladder out the penis, that traps a little bit of urine in it. So even when you're done urinating, that little bit in the urethra can kind of dribble out. That's where the patience comes into play. And oftentimes, I mean, we've all been there, right, guys? You think you're good, you're done.
And you're not.
And you put it away.
You're like,
and-
oh. But Brad, there's a big difference between just a little dribble,
Yeah.
which every man, if a man says he's never experienced that, then he's probably never urinated. But again, a little bit of that urine from the urethra is going to flow out. But that's different than more severe urinary incontinence, which is a true syndrome, something that there's usually something medical going
You're
on.
actually having the thing.
Because you just
rain.
have a little bit coming out, Brad?
Yeah, but sometimes it's like you said, you don't know when it's going to stop. It's also like, just that feeling like you haven't gone enough. It's like that
Some
pressure.
urologists actually say you can do the little milking type of movement so that you get under the base and then you kind of just milk it a little bit.
Tell us
Why
about
don't you
this.
demonstrate?
That's what you do.
Maybe you should demonstrate.
That's what,
I haven't done it, okay? But as a physician, I know that is a way that urologists recommend to their patients who often have post-void dribbling, which is the medical term.
Okay.
And so often that can help, but you do want to check and make sure it's not related to other
Right.
things. But there is a space where it can get stuck, where the urine can kind of
Right.
get stuck, and
Okay.
actually if you milk right under that space or
Yeah.
You
need
kind
it,
of
massage.
take it at the base of the penis, you kind of milk it down, and
Exactly.
gets the urine out of the urethra. But
Something you mentioned that you say after you're finished urinating, you feel like you still need to go.
Yeah,
you
like
know.
see, that may be
something
incomplete bladder.
voiding. It's not emptying all the way, and so that's something I see in kids that hold it a lot, so their bladder kind of gets stretched out, so it doesn't empty all the way. And then
I just turned
they do.
40, so I'm like wondering, like, future medical problems like that. Is that something that starting to think about? Could it be a prostate issue? Is there something?
Well,
like,
I mean, it could be. If you have trouble starting and stopping your urinary stream, if you get up at night, those are all symptoms you may want to, that would point towards something going on with your urinary tract. You'd want to have that checked out.
So you do want to check
Yeah.
it out, but again, as men get older, you want to do, and these guys are really good at it too. I know they do it when we're just sitting up here all the time. Kegels, as we've said before, good for men as well as women. And they help keep, things tight and firm and
I
all
just
that good
completed
stuff.
10.
There you go.
So there is a man version.
So,
of it?
yeah,
I didn't know that.
Get older?
Yeah.
But Brad, before we let you off the hook, you mentioned just turning 40. I know how that feels. And you start to think about your health a little bit more. This is one of those things where you just continue a discourse with your physician because you should mention this. Because if this becomes a bigger problem, there are tests that can be done. Because again, there's a difference between a little bit of post-void dribbling and true urinary incontinence, which affects 200+ million people. It's very common. So if you don't feel like you're getting complete evacuation of your bladder, that's something that's worth being looked into. Brad, thank you so much for coming on and asking that.